Charlie, how's it going? Hope I'm saying your name correctly. Like I said in my announcement, I'm trying out a new way to give feedback on students' writing, so we'll see how it goes. If you guys hate it, go back to the old way, but I think this will be a little bit easier. First of all, it's really cool that English is your second language. I, for years, taught English as a foreign language, so I'm very aware of the challenges that second language learners have in English, and especially writing. And I know Spanish speakers often tend to kind of write on and on and on and on these really long sentences, but yours seems okay. There are just some minor things I'll point out. So let's just go through this quickly, paragraph by paragraph, okay? So I enjoy writing. I even thought about majoring in English. So this is like a sentence, and this is a sentence. You're joining it by a comma. What you need is a connector. So what would connect that? A conjunction, right? So, or and possibly, okay? This is called a comma splice in grammatical terms here, when you've got two sentences joined with just a comma and no connector, no conjunction. But it's a good start to the essay. I've always heard of some of the greatest authors. You don't really need of here. Mention that they never imagined themselves as writers. Or, so when you read this, there's a natural pause right here. And this is a conjunction which I was talking about. And a lot of students nowadays, not just, non-native speakers of English, but a lot of just native English speakers don't properly put commas where they should right before the or, but, so, okay? So one tip I give to you is maybe when you write your essay, read it out loud and see how it sounds, okay? That's always a good kind of tool that you can use to see if things are making sense. And you'll notice there's supposed to be a natural pause here, and that's where you would put the comma. Since I was little, I would always keep a journal to write down my dreams or stories from my day that I wanted to keep. So there's that pause again, comma. I wouldn't forget them as I got older. Some of my favorite authors started their books as they had dreams about them. So there's that pause, comma. So that was my inspiration to write my own books one day. English is my second language. So there's that pause. I think that is why I always had a hard time with grammar, since my older siblings also struggle with it, and my parents only speak Spanish, comma, so they didn't help us. My strongest attribute as a writer is I enjoy writing and thinking of topics to write about. My biggest concern is my grammar. I utilize the Writing Center a lot. Okay, so here, my biggest concern is my grammar. That's one complete sentence. I utilize the Writing Center a lot. There's that conjunction, but I also get embarrassed because of how bad my grammar can be, comma. So when I see a lot of red marks on my paper, it's a big disappointment, but then it's also good because I'm learning from it. So this is kind of a giant sentence here. I would consider breaking this up a little bit, but let's start at the beginning here. My biggest concern is my grammar. Okay, I would put a period there. Here we've got that comma splice again. You've got a sentence and then this giant sentence joined by just a comma, and there's no connector there. So end that with a period, break this into two sentences. Skills I want to learn is how to do better research. Ooh, that sounds kind of awkward. Skills, plural, is singular, right? Skills I want to learn are how to do better research, how to be, try to keep the same verb tense, right? You got the ing in there, it doesn't keep it consistent. How to do better research, how to be a college student, and take, keep that same verb tense. Take. The topics that I have no idea where to start. So there's that so again. I'd like to get better at adjusting to topics that I'm not comfortable with. I also want to improve my writing skills as to grammar, because I put a comma there, because we are in college and essays are basically part of every class. I do ask when you grade my papers if you can write I do ask when you grade my papers if you can write comments on how to fix. I would probably not use if here. I do ask when you grade my papers that you write, get rid of can, comments on how to fix my grammar, or advice. That doesn't really match this word. This is a noun, and you need a verb. Maybe like give me advice or advise with an S me on how to improve my writing, something like that. It's a little bit awkward right there. I dislike it when teachers just give grades out and don't explain the errors. Pause. Because then, not than, we don't know how to correct them. So the next paper can be better. I had professors in the past who would mark down my grammar. Or maybe I would say mark me down on my grammar. Pause, but never tell me where and what I did wrong. Pause. So it's difficult to grow in writing if I'm not aware. Where, that sounds really weird, where my weak spots are. If I'm not aware of, or if I'm not made aware of where my weak spots are. You don't need in there. Another thing I would like to improve is sticking to the topic when writing, especially when writing essays. Especially when writing essays that have a minimum word or page count. Okay, so let's look at this. From here, especially, to here, you have a fragment. It's not a complete sentence. I would say something like, I especially struggle when writing essays that have a minimum word or page count. Okay, just starting with especially and ending like that, it's not a complete sentence. If it's a topic I like, I can go on, but there's that conjunction again. What do we need right here? But if it's a topic I struggle with, I can get off the topic and write about something else. Yeah, I would put a period here and then just say, in cases like this, I can get the full word count or page count done. Pause, but then I get points marked off and maybe elaborate a little bit right there. I hope you can be a lot of help this semester. I am kind of scared because so you've got that same problem right here. You got a comma here, but you need a period. You're joining two sentences with a comma and no conjunction there. I would end that with a period. I'm kind of scared. I'm somewhat scared because I took English 100 in class. Don't really need that. And I did well because the professor taught step by step and did a lot of explaining in class, something like that. That sounds kind of awkward there. Professor did step by step explain class, and then I think we can do online. Pause, but I do enjoy to challenge myself. Wrong too. You don't need the TOO there. All right, so hopefully that gives you some areas to work on when we revise this. Let me know what you thought of the feedback, if you thought this was helpful. Just trying this out, like I said, this semester, okay? All right, thanks.